Lil Nas X is preparing to release a new single, and the title of it is J Christ. And he has decided that the cover art for this single would be him on a cross portraying himself as Jesus Christ. He titled this tweet, "My new single is dedicated to the man who had the greatest comeback of all time. J Christ, January 12th. So this is about to come out. And his promotional tool, as always, is outrage marketing. It's very cheap. And yeah, I'm a Christian and I do find this offensive and blasphemous, but his own fans are fed up with his outrage marketing as well. Like, rage baiting is a cheap way to get people to pay attention to your art. Mm-hmm. It should stand on its own merits. And I'm not alone in thinking that. But since December, he has been running with this troll that he's converting to Christianity and trying to play it off like it's authentic, even to the point of fake enrolling in Liberty University to study biblical studies. He posted a fake letter of acceptance from Liberty University signed by their former president, who has been dead since 2007.
I was more impressed
I'm
that
highly
Liberty
doubting
University
it.
was a real thing. Mary had to tell me what the hell Liberty University was. I was like, based.
You'd heard of it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard of it plenty of times. And he insists that he is being earnest. He said, "Not everything is a troll. I'm a student again. Let's go." He's also posted a video of himself in what appears to be a church, where he is eating a bunch of communion wafers and drinking wine like it's a mukbang.
Here we go. Keep it muted, please. Here, please don't play music.
Yeah, he posted this video to his Instagram stories of him.
I guess it wouldn't really be as offensive if it wasn't for the church setting. Like we were talking about earlier, you can buy communion wafers online. You can literally buy them on the internet. So I guess it's not until they've been, blessed, Mary?
Yeah, the communion wafers need to be consecrated to be actually considered the Eucharist. Obviously, that's not what is in the video, but he is still attempting to provoke Christians and mock them with his public presence and his art. And people have been doing this for decades already. Every time that a celebrity does this, I say, it wasn't even that interesting when Madonna did it, and now you're doing it decades later. It's not original. It's not provocative. It's not subversive. We don't live in a Christian culture anymore. So what authority are you even rebelling against? Mm-hmm. This is the popular culture. It's synonymous with disrespecting Christianity and traditional values and all of that stuff. So what is the point, really? And his own fans are echoing what I'm saying. One said, "I love him, but I wish he'd aim higher than making noise by trolling judgmental Christians, because the artistry is actually there. And I don't know, he did this the last promo round," and they're referring to his music video for the song Montero. That is actually his name. He basically, in that music video, descended into hell and gave Satan a lap dance. Ooh, so edgy. He responded to that fan. He said, "The problem is y'all judge everything at face value. I've never released a visual without an underlying meaning, and y'all know that. But since I'm a troll, you discount my art as just pissing people off." Another one said, "Good morning, I don't care about you. Disrespecting religion, but I feel like you're just extra to be extra. And yes, trolling. What Lady Gaga did with Judas, Madonna with Like a Prayer, Nicki with Roman Holiday, there's a sense of class to it." And he responded, "The problem with a lot of y'all gays is y'all think I'm trying to be like Gaga or Madonna, when in reality, with all due respect, I DGAF what they did, and I'm doing what I want with my career." So he doesn't really respond to the idea that this is all unoriginal and feels manufactured and doesn't really hit like it used to in the 20th century.
Somebody really wants to troll. I want to see somebody start making troll videos about Buddhism.
Right, like you would never dare disrespect Islam in your music.
I understand that one because there's actual consequences, but I would find something funny about making fun of Buddhism somehow.
But it's like all of these artists pride themselves on being so open-minded, and they're willing to cross any line, any boundary. They're willing to offend anyone. except for the people who will actually push back on it, you know? And they're obsessed with getting acceptance from the so-called closed-minded people. When you and your open-minded ilk could just enjoy yourselves and celebrate each other however you want and be fine, but they're obsessed with provoking and poking the bear. It's honestly really pathetic, and it's what a lot of people say, it's punching down. It is. And I was curious, why does Lil Nas X feel so strongly about disrespecting Catholicism in particular? I wondered, did he grow up Catholic?
Was he raised Catholic?
Was he raised in some kind of horrible, repressive Catholic church that, you know, he was bullied by Catholic peers or something? Did he go to Catholic school? And as far as I can tell, that isn't true. I went to his Wikipedia and I looked at his early life section. It says he was born in Georgia, 1999. He was named after the Mitsubishi Montero. Yeah, his real name is Montero Lamar Hill. His parents divorced when he was 6, and he settled in the Bankhead neighborhood of Atlanta with his mother and grandmother. 3 years later, he moved in with his father, a gospel singer. So, gospel singer in Atlanta doesn't exactly scream Catholic. Yes, it's a Christian environment, it's a Christian household, but why Catholicism in particular, especially also from an American perspective? Catholicism has never been the establishment religion in America. So why are you rebelling against something that was never even an authority over you?
Yeah.
It's very strange.
Just needs a gimmick.
Yeah.
Pick a different one, you know? Like, I don't know. Yes, as a Catholic and as a Christian, I do find it offensive. I do find it blasphemous. It's distasteful. But I'm not the only one who thinks it's distasteful. There are non-religious fans of his and even atheist fans of his who are echoing the same sentiment that this is tired, it's boring, try something new for once.
Right.
Like, you're not only repeating what other artists did, you're repeating the same gimmick that you were using several years ago.
Does the Mitsubishi Montero still exist? If it does, there's a marketing opportunity there that's just way too good to miss. Does anybody know, has he done any marketing for Mitsubishi? Because that would be fantastic. That's what he should be doing.
He's probably too offensive for their brand image.
Oh, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Yeah, like you need a gimmick, you need your branding, and it's just such an easy one to do these days. You're not going to get any of the pushback from the people you supposedly think are oppressing you, you know. Like there was one of these comments from someone under this post. It says, "I think it's hilarious. We must mock these people. Christian nationalism is the biggest threat to America right now. Many people running want a Christian theocracy. Educated Americans fight for your right to believe in a sky daddy. Doesn't mean we can't mock it." Well, yes, it's true. I'm saying it's kind of boring to me. I find it very, very LARPy.
Yeah, and there's no purpose. Usually art should have some type of purpose behind it. But if your purpose is solely to piss people off, it kind of doesn't hit.
Right.
Maybe in the early 2000s, you know, like if we were in the Marilyn Manson era, different Manson, you know, when that was a more common thing and they were pushing back against what they felt was a neoconservative, more religious environment here in the West, sure. But these days, especially in their industry with the bubble that they're in, it's not like he's got to worry about Justin Bieber coming up to him and being like, "Hey, I was at Hillsong the other day and I heard that you were disrespecting my religion." I don't think that that's going to happen.
No.
I don't. I find all of it incredibly contrived. Most likely, the worst, honestly, the worst outcome here is like, okay, so there's two that I see here. One is that it's his own idea. Fine. That's actually at least kind of interesting because maybe it informs some aspect of his childhood that we don't see in his early life section from Wikipedia. The worst option is that his manager and his agent are like, "You got to have a gimmick, man. You're going to have to hate on the Christians and the Catholics if you want to get ahead." Because, you know,
it's bizarre.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, because a lot of it is like people who have marketed themselves, you know, his sexuality has become such a big part of who he is as a character, because he's essentially, you kind of play a character in that role. Like it plays such a big role in that that it's just not super interesting without somebody to be against, without an oppressor. So in this case, you have to have the most stereotypical and easy to spot one they can find. And it doesn't really, at least to me, ring true with what I believe to be the majority of the country these days, because, you know, it feels like we become more secular by the day. Mm-hmm. And that's just, as somebody who's not religious, I just look at it as boring and
right. It's
expensive.
Like cringy. It's so unoriginal and boring.
Yeah.
I mean, if you really want to create controversy, there's so many just other religions, not just other things that you could mock or push back against that you think are so oppressive.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know, man. It's weird. I find the pushback against religion here in the West, where religion is this thing that you're free to, like, this isn't, he's not pushing back against Islam in an Islamic country, right? He's doing it against a country here where, for the most part, a religion known for being quite tolerant, despite the fact of whatever they might say might happen to you when you pass away, whatever you were told when you were younger. The belief on the whole is that they're quite respectful and tolerant of people who see the world differently than them, far more than other religions.
I recently saved this thread that I found that chronicles all of Lil Nas X's problematic tweets from back when he was a Stan account on Twitter in the 2010s. It's called Exposing Lil Nas X for Being Homophobic, even though he's gay, fatphobic, racist, slut-shaming, and more. He talks badly about Nicki Minaj, Beyonce, Rihanna, Lady Gaga, Adele, Taylor Swift, Selena Gomez, Azalea Banks, Cardi B, Blue Ivy, and more. And it's ironic that when he first popped up onto the scene with Old Town Road going viral, he wasn't out yet. But this was already in, 2018 or 2019. This is well past the point where it's stigmatized to be gay, especially in the entertainment industry. I mean, maybe you could argue that as a rap artist, it was a little bit more of a new territory.
Oh,
but
yeah. No, it's still new territory for rap
still,
artists.
like, regardless.
Really? But, like, weren't they saying A$AP Rocky was gay? Or, like, I know
He's
he
not,
was wearing
though.
skirts, like, not too long ago. So there was already the feminization.
There's
of
Lil
men,
Uzi
even
Vert.
in like
Yes.
rap
He
and
came out as
R&B.
non-binary. But Lil Nas X, back in 2020, claimed that he didn't want people to know he was gay and didn't want people finding out and losing everything. It's very weird because clearly what he didn't want people to find out is that he was a Stan account talking shit about all of these celebrities who are now his colleagues, kind of, in the industry. I won't go into detail because everything he said is incredibly vulgar, but you can find it if you would like to. I just think his entire career is very embarrassing, and he's talented enough where he never needed to rely on outrage and rage baiting people to get success. Maybe his marketing team is behind this and encouraging this, but it just shows how fast the culture has changed. And we're going to get into this in the next topic, but previously artists were discouraged from coming out as gay or queer or whatever because it makes them less of a mass appeal product. You want to appeal to as many people as possible, make as much money as possible. So homophobia wasn't really the reasoning behind that, but now we've flipped entirely, and he was probably encouraged to capitalize on being a gay celebrity, and I'm sure that that's actually helped him get success in the industry rather than hurt.
Yep. They should just start rage baiting and pretending to be conservative. That would be actual rage baiting. Yeah.
But no one would buy it.
Yeah.
From him, at least.
I mean, I don't know. I think actually people would buy it because I think they're like, why would you? Because that actually is a risk, right? Just like we're saying, when you're pretending to be putting yourself at risk because you're pushing back on a religion that's not going to do anything to you, that's not an actual risk. But pretending to be a conservative would actually be a risk to your job.
He kind of reminds me of a male version of Doja Cat.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Yeah, that's a
They
good
both
one.
have like pasts of being problematic on the internet, being memes that went mainstream.
Yeah.
They're both like desperate to offend, Doja Cat was just wearing this shirt with Sam Hyde on it on her Instagram. People didn't know how to react.
Yep.
But they're both talented people who really don't need to rely on that.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.